Howdy everyone, and welcome back to a brand new video. If you enjoy the content here on the channel, then please like and subscribe for more like this one, and leave your thoughts in the comments section below. About last week or so of me making this video, many students were in the middle of taking their final exams, and like most students, a lot of us have used websites to upload assignments and complete coursework online. One of the most popular platforms for this is Canvas, which I personally used during my time in college. While I didn't experience the issue firsthand, my older brother did, who's currently in nursing school, and he was actually affected by this along with potentially millions of other students, and reports suggest that millions of these students' accounts may have actually been compromised, meaning that anyone who has been using Canvas in the past could potentially have had their information exposed as well. According to an article from ABC News Australia, the cyber attack impacted over 9,000 institutions and was allegedly orchestrated by the hacker group known as Shiny Hunters. Now, what concerns me the most, though, is how some people on TikTok have reacted to the situation. While yes, a few understand that this was completely out of the students' hands and the teacher's control, others seem to overlook the bigger issue entirely. The real danger isn't just that the site went down during those finals weeks, it's the massive amount of personal data that may have been exposed and how that information could later be used in highly personalized social engineering attacks. Things like student names, school information, email addresses, class schedules, and other account details that can be valuable to cyber criminals. With enough information, attackers can craft conceiving phishing emails, fake school notifications, or even impersonate professors and institutions to trick students into giving away even more sensitive information. And knowing how the realm of AI has become, that can add on another level of dangerousness to this whole situation. Yet, despite that, some reactions online have mainly focused on the inconvenience of assignments being interrupted. For example, I came across a TikToker whose main frustration was simply that she had spent time trying to study only for the Canvas platform to go offline during exams. While that frustration is understandable, it also shows how many people may not realize the long-term risk that can come down from a breach like this. So let's just take a look at a clip from that TikToker and see how they are reacting to this.
To the people that hack Canvas, if y'all could unhack it for like 5 minutes, two at best, 2 minutes is all I need. I just need to go in there and take a picture of my final review questions that are going to be for my final that I take in 4 days to be exact. So I just need to, just give me 1 minute. Just give me 30 seconds at best to just go in there, take a picture, and then I'll get it out of y'all's hair. I'm not the problem. I'm not the one you need to be fighting.
Now I am going to be serious here. If the only thing you are really concerned about is I studied my butt off just to pass my final, then there are probably much bigger things you should start worrying about for your future. For me personally, what actually concerns me is the possibility that these hackers now have access to my information, my brother's information, my friend's information, and potentially millions of other students' data as well. That kind of information can easily be used to create targeted social engineering attacks. Things like fake school emails, fraudulent account recovery messages, or phishing attempts designed to trick people into handing over banking details and other sensitive information. And the scary part is that these attacks work because they feel personal. If hackers know your school, your email, your classes, or even who your family members are, they can make messages look convincing enough for someone to fall for them. That's the real danger here. Not just the website temporarily going down during finals week, but specifically handcrafted emails or tactics to try to get information out of you. In the response, many students reportedly saw the group Shiny Hunters demanding the following, where it reads, "If any schools in the affected list are interested in preventing the release of their data, please consult with the cyber advisory firm and contact us privately at Talks to negotiate a settlement. You have till the end of the day by 12th of May 2026 before everything is leaked. Instructor still has enough EOD for end of day 12 May 2026 to contact us," followed by a link to the affected schools. So at that point, it starts feeling less like just another hack and more like an act meant to create fear and chaos on a massive scale. According to a report from WRL News, the data that may have been exposed reportedly includes names, emails, addresses, student IDs, and even messages exchanged between users on Canvas. And that information right there, it's not harmless information. That is the kind of data cybercriminals can use to build highly targeted scams that feel legitimate and personal. And again, imagine receiving an email that already knows your school, your student ID, your professor's name, or details from your past conversations. Most people would assume it was real without thinking twice. And that is what makes breaches like this so dangerous. It's not just about shutting down a school platform during finals, it's about the long-term consequences of millions of people potentially having their personal information collected and weaponized for phishing, fraud, identity theft, and once again, social engineering tactics. Now, the article does go on to say that Instructor, the company behind Canvas, found no evidence that passwords, social security numbers, or financial information were compromised. But at this point, it's understandable why many people are still skeptical. Once a breach of this scale happens, trust becomes difficult to restore, especially when millions of students have now had personal information exposed. What has made people even more uneasy is that multiple reports claim Instructor ultimately conceded to the demands of the Shiny Hunter hackers. The exact details surrounding those negotiations are still unclear, including why the company chose to negotiate in the first place and whether money was ultimately paid. If a payment was made, the amount has not been publicly disclosed. That's kind of all we know right now. Now, some people may debate the wording on this, but I personally understand why many victims would describe these groups like this a terrorist organization in a digital sense. Their actions create widespread fear, uncertainty, and panic among students, parents, and schools alike. When millions of people suddenly have to wonder whether their personal information is circulating online, that fear is real. It becomes real. At the same time, too, it's important to separate confirmed facts from speculation. So as of now, there is still no public evidence showing that passwords, social security numbers, or banking information were leaked directly. However, even the confirmed exposure of names, email, student IDs, and private communications is still already serious enough to raise major cybersecurity concerns. I get it. I was a student too, and everyone else has felt stressed during finals week, but some of the reactions online have been frustrating to watch. I even came across another video where a girl was openly asking the hackers to take the site down again. And while she may have meant it jokingly, her reaction completely ignores the bigger picture. This is not about delaying assignments or grades anymore. This involves potentially exposed personal information tied to students, schools, and private communications on Canvas. And some people are actually really being serious about this. Trust me when I say this, they're not being satirical, because in the second video shown in the comments, she even wanted the site to get shut down for an additional 24 hours. Instead of recognizing how serious a breach like this could be, some people were actually hoping the site would get hacked again just so they could get more time to study or potentially avoid taking their finals altogether. Others even treated the situation like a joke, as if a major cybersecurity incident affecting millions of students was just another excuse to get out of class. At some point, people have to understand that the cyber attacks are not harmless internet pranks. Real people are being affected by this. Students, teachers, schools, and families who now have to worry about phishing attempts, scams, identity theft, and other long-term consequences that can come from a breach of this scale. The reality is that some people simply are not ready for the responsibilities that come with adulthood or working a real job, because they constantly look for excuses to bypass accountability. It's one thing to fail a class after genuinely putting in the effort, you're trying your best, and realistically, most people at some point are probably just going to cheat, if you know what I mean, just so that way they can at least pass the grade or class that doesn't mean anything to their degree. We've all been there. We know what we're talking about. No one is perfect. In the real world, people do use documentation, resources, and search tools every day to solve problems. But there is a huge difference between trying to learn and improve versus actively hoping an entire system crashes just so you can avoid responsibility altogether. Wanting a site like Canvas to go down again so you can skip assignments, delay finals, or get an easier pass is not gaming the system. It's just avoiding accountability. Honestly, that mindset does not work well outside of school. In actual workspaces, deadlines still exist, responsibilities still matter, and when systems go down, people are expected to adapt and continue working through the problem instead of celebrating the disruption. That is part of growing up and learning how to handle responsibility even when situations are stressful and unfair. Shiny Hunters did claim that they have destroyed the stolen data, but hopefully that is actually true, because once criminals gain access to information like this, there's no guarantee it is ever truly gone. Realistically, someone involved could still have copies stored away on backup drives, waiting for the right moment just to leak or sell that information later on. And according to, again, the WRLA News, Instructor, the company behind Campus, reportedly reached an agreement with the hackers, though the exact details are, once again, they're not publicly known, so we don't know what they negotiated, as I said earlier. The site has come back online since, but now the bigger question is, how do we protect ourselves from this? How do we move forward? And really for now, just make sure your family members, especially older relatives who may be less familiar with online scams, that they understand to not click on suspicious links from emails claiming to be from one school institution or whatever, because attackers may try to create fake messages saying tuition payments failed, account information needs verification, or school portals requiring password resets. So if you ever do receive an email like that, do not trust the contact information inside the message itself. Instead, go directly to the institution's website and call the number listed there to verify whether the email is legitimate. So, some of the scams that people should watch out for could include fake emails, pretending to come from principals, teachers, or school admins, fraudulent Canvas login pages designed to steal passwords, text messages claiming to come from school districts, fake tuition fees, and password reset emails crafted using real student information. Now, what people should do right now is, as always, enable two-factor authentication on email accounts, banking apps, school portals, student email accounts, the same gist that applies for anything else. Use an authenticator app whenever possible instead of the SMS verification, since phone numbers can sometimes be hijacked through the SMI swapping attacks. But yeah, as the story continues to develop, definitely stay alert for suspicious emails claiming to come from schools, principals, professors, or deans. The entire situation is honestly pretty insane, especially considering that these reports that instructor negotiated with these hackers, again, in my opinion, they're terrorists in the first place, it really is mind-boggling. So, at the end of the day, hopefully this serves as a warning for people to stay cautious online, avoid falling for extortion or phishing attempts, and report anything that looks fraudulent. But at the very least, stay careful and make sure the people around you are informed as well. If you enjoyed today's video, leave a like, drop your thoughts in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe. This is Sky High Ken signing out, and I'll see everyone in the next video. Take care. I love you all. Goodbye.